This is my second video for the project. It's going to be me just comparing Johnny Mad Dog, the movie I watched, to A Long Way Gone by Ismael Bea. As we know, Ismael Bea was very candid and he explained pretty much a lot of what he did into the last detail. And as we saw, being a child soldier in Africa was gruesome, and it just was not good for children in the way that their bodies were treated with the drugs and just with being in the jungle. Johnny Mad Dog did an alright job with the war aspect. It showed the rebel army making a child shoot his own father in order to become part of the rebel army. This is similar to what we see in Johnny Mad Dog. The one thing that I remember from Johnny Mad Dog that was sort of like this is when they had a contest to see who could kill someone fastest with a bayonet. Just things like that that are so gruesome for a child to do, and the emotional experience for a child to do that and kill his own father is beyond anything we can really imagine. But the difference is that in the Hollywood movie of Johnny Mad Dog, they never really had to regain supplies that they had lost, because it almost always seemed like they won, therefore they didn't have to do anything else. But like in Ismael Bea's book, it was a constant survival to just have supplies that you needed or wanted. And in the movie Johnny Mad Dog, they never seemed to have to stop to regain supplies or take a village in order to get drugs that they wanted, or like gasoline for their vehicles or anything. A similarity is that the groups in the book, Ismael stated that his squad was like a family, and they did a really good job of that in Johnny Mad Dog, because they had nicknames for each other, and the person in charge really was in charge and almost like a fatherly figure in the movie, as Ismael was in the book that he wrote to his squad. But there were just things in Johnny Mad Dog that I don't think were entirely accurate or were entirely plausible to believe. There was a love story from Johnny Mad Dog was a rebel, and he got into an affair with this is as a young teenager. He's in an affair with an older government woman, and I just don't think that's really what would have happened in A Long Way Gone. They just killed or raped the women as they wanted, but in Johnny Mad Dog it was like a full-blown affair, and I just don't think that's really accurate. And another thing that wasn't accurate was the ending to the movie. It was Johnny Mad Dog getting put in by a young 10-year-old girl who hit him with a gun. And this girl had been throughout the movie in the city, and I just don't think that, because she didn't have a gun, she wouldn't have survived in that environment with the squad patrolling the streets. It's just, that's not accurate. And Hollywood is just trying to make you like the movie better, but it's not giving you an accurate depiction of what a child soldier is really being like. They would have killed that girl according to what Ishmael told us in his book. And really the last thing that I don't think was really accurate from Hollywood was the UN didn't get involved with the squad that approached their door. Johnny Mad Dog's squad went up to the UN's a UN building in a city to ask what were they doing, and the UN told them that they were the UN, but the UN never did anything to try to get the child soldiers out of the war. Like, as we know, the UN had always tried to get the child, like, it was from the beginning, that was one of their main issues. And I just, like, if a child squadron would have showed up, I think they would have at least tried to do something and just disarm them so they could take them to a rehabilitation center like they did in A Long Way Gone. And that's something that we missed in the movie, is that there was no rehabilitation center, so we don't know how to compare that to A Long Way Gone and how Ishmael experienced the horrors of trying to just accept himself for who he is and not for what he'd done in the past. You missed that because Hollywood's trying to give you the classic ending of a hero, and I think that's really one of the main differences. And overall, the war parts itself, for what they did to people, such as shooting and just destroying everything in their path, that's accurate, but the details and the story behind it in the movie is not accurate at all to Ishmael's story.